Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Game On. This is Ed with Thomas.
How's it going, Ed?
Oh, not bad. How are you doing, Thomas?
I'm great.
I think we're just recovering from the whole Gamescom shock of everything, huh?
Yeah, a lot of big news coming out of that.
Surprisingly large amount of news for a show that was kind of... It was pretty small. It wasn't small before. It's always been pretty big, but...
Just seemed like E3's little brother or something.
Yeah, it really seems like that now. Whereas TGS would usually replace that in September. So, but anyways, we're talking about a game that's already out instead of games that are going to come out. We're looking at Rogue Legacy this week. So Thomas, I know you've picked up Rogue Legacy. What do you think?
I it's one of those games where I will die pretty quickly and I'm doing terrible at it, and yet the moment I die I just immediately want to jump back in, and I kind of have no idea why. Like it's fun. I think it's one of those games where you're just not sure why you're having fun or why you're still playing it. At least for me. I don't know. What do you think about it?
See, I love this game. I honestly believe this is probably my favorite indie game aside from FTL.
Wow.
I'm not a big indie person, but this is this is a fantastic game. It controls so well, and mechanically it's just so strong to me. And I understand where you're coming from. Like, you don't really understand why you like it sometimes, but you're like,
yeah.
I think for me, that point was after the first couple hours when I know we can see a level 0 guy here, and he sucks.
Mm-hmm.
He flat out sucks. But once you get push past the beginning struggle, it starts to become really, really fun. Once your guy gets like a little bit powerful, enemies are still kind of strong, and then you'll get a really strong guy, and you'll push through the first part of the dungeon, and you'll go to the next part, and you get crushed, and it's like you can really feel the build up.
Yeah, I guess how far have you gotten in it? Have you beaten any of the bosses?
I've beaten 3 bosses.
Okay, I have beaten the first boss, and I met the second boss and got wiped out pretty quickly.
Yeah,
so I am not as far as you.
Granted, I've probably put in a lot more hours than you.
Yeah.
I think I'm somewhere around 15 to 20 hours. So
I'd say I'm probably 8, maybe.
I think one of the big problems, like I said, is getting past that certain point. And one of the biggest hurdles for me was getting past the first boss, actually. It was just such a struggle. And then second boss was kind of hard. And third, which we'll see in this video, I beat him on my second try. I was just getting a lot better and a lot stronger. So it's kind of interesting how that works. And honestly, I'm having a lot of problems on the end game here. So...
Jeez, yeah, I am still, I would say, early goings, even though I've put in a fair amount of hours. I feel like I'm waiting for that moment where everything clicks, and it hasn't happened yet. I just feel like right now I'm just kind of grinding to get a better dude or something, because that to me that's the biggest hurdle I'm having, is that the guy dies so quickly and I'm just not getting that much gear, and it's almost like Dark Souls in a way where you're you have a whole life and it kind of amounted to nothing at the end. You might lose all your souls here, you might lose all your gold or something, and then at that point, what was the result? What did you actually accomplish?
So quickly,
wow,
right
you have
here,
a much bigger
should
tree
explain
than,
a couple things about the game if people aren't familiar. So you see all these little guys. These are all the guys that I've played as, and I've died. And I think I'm on 3,000, a 3,000-year-old dude here, so that means I've died a lot of times. And just gonna quickly explain that each character has their own basically defects, and some they can't see in color, some can't see 3D, while others have stronger knockback or gigantism or whatever, or dwarfism, and they all...
Some dudes fart a lot.
Yeah, some dudes fart, or swear, which is funny. Not everything has a gameplay effect, but it's just it adds to this whole game's uniqueness, and each character really feels self-contained.
I really thought when I was starting out that the choices you made and like which descendants you pick would have more of an effect kind of down the line. Like I guess I kind of figured that was gonna like affect which ones you would get later and how your family tree would play out. But really, it's just kind of like you just get a random assortment of the same preset traits each time.
Pretty much.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, aside from the
weird game.
the name that carries on, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you get like Chun-Li the third, and I don't know. Chun-Li's the one that sticks with me because it's like so clearly a nod, but it's so out of place.
Yeah.
But
I think my favorite trait is probably the gay trait, because they're just like, you are a fan of the man.
yeah,
I think that's just a really great sentence.
yeah. You know, and you don't see any effect in the game from that, do you?
I don't think so.
Like,
I haven't seen anything.
That's one of the things that gets me. They'll just throw something in there because they can throw it in there, and you're kind of expecting at some point that it'll make a difference, and it never does.
Yeah. Like the bald one, I think it literally just says balding instead of building when it's like making your random castle.
Yeah.
And that's really funny. It's a funny game.
It is. It has a really good sense of humor, and it doesn't mind making fun of itself. And there's a lot of... I find there's a lot of quirks in this game. I know I pick up an item here, and it's Hermes boots and whatever, don't care. It's an item. But there's a nod to like Sonic the Hedgehog. When you get... It's called the Hedgehog's Curse, and when you get hit, you drop coins and they fly everywhere, and it's really annoying, and it's just kind of like weird stuff like that to me that gives this game so much charm.
Yeah, it's definitely got charm. I think my character right now, at least like the stats overall for my family or whatever, I would say my the sticking point I'm having is that I feel like I am powerful enough to deal with the first area easily, but like watching your guy right now just kind of like go through this section, like my guy would have a much harder time with this section, and I feel like it's like I'm having a lot of trouble pushing into new areas, and that's like my roadblock with the game right now, is he feels stuck in the first kind of...
You do. You'll hit, like it, we were just saying before, you hit walls, and it's really frustrating sometimes. I mean, my guy, I feel like in this area, actually, he was pretty over-leveled. And there are definitely classes that don't work as well as others. I don't know which ones you have, but there's two that stick out to me, and I think it's the ninja, which has double strength but lower other stats, and the spell sword, which basically recovers MP every time you cause damage.
I've been using a lot of the vampire stuff that will recover health when you slash dudes.
Oh, I like jumping around a lot more and flying, as you can tell. But yeah, those are my two favorite classes, and like, it feels like even though you pretty much have the same, well, not that's not necessarily true. You have a lot of the same stats with every character you play until you upgrade them. But because of those classes, they always feel a little bit different, and there's variety.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely, it feels like a game that has all the mechanics pretty sound, and some of the structure is the only thing that's giving me pause. Like, I still have a lot of fun playing it, and every time I play it, even if I'm like doing poorly, I'm not like getting super frustrated as I'm playing it so much as just like, I don't know, like I'm having fun. I'm just not, I feel like I'm not making a lot of progress. It's kind of the feeling I had when I first started playing like Demon Souls or something, like a game that eventually I got and understood and got really obsessed with. So I'm kind of just waiting patiently for that moment.
Yeah, I think at some point there's gonna be a light bulb that clicks on, and you're gonna be like, you're just gonna fly past an area, and
I'll be like, this is the best game ever.
I don't know if you're gonna say that, but I think there's a light bulb, and I wish I had footage of it in this one, but there's like a character trait that's called the One. And what is it?
Okay.
It's like there is no spoon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and instead of like a regular view, it's this kind of wireframey computer visuals you got.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah, and it doesn't cause anything else besides that.
Yeah, definitely a game with a lot of character.
I think I'm gonna fight. No, I'm not gonna boss yet. Anyways, this is a lot about loot, and loot is awesome.
Yeah, I haven't used the I'm looking at the map here, and so this is like a roguelike. So every time you respawn, it generates a completely new castle, which is what makes it really fun. But you can also pay this guy named the Architect to freeze it. I haven't actually done that at all. Okay. Have you been doing that?
Interestingly enough, early on in the game, I was thinking it's a really good idea to use the Architect, because then I can get the treasure chests that I know are in X place, and use that to accumulate wealth. But it actually turned out to be a really bad idea. I think I only use them now when I need to fight a boss, and I don't want to have to trudge back through the castle, because you lose a lot of health.
It takes enemies into account?
Like
the enemies you've killed?
No, it doesn't. You have to refight them all. It's basically, when I find a boss room, I'll use the teleporter to instantly get to the boss again. And somebody dies a completely crappy death. Yeah, anyways, I'll use the Architect just to get back to the boss, so I don't have to fight a lot of enemies along the way.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. I've just been kind of just ignoring it, because I was like, I don't know why I would want to remove the roguelike aspect of this game. But that makes sense to just fight a boss again, because I've gotten to bosses and then kind of wanted to go back to them, but sort of forgot that the Architect exists because I already wrote them off. Have you played the Vita version at all?
I actually primarily play the Vita version.
Oh, really? Okay.
That's probably one of the reasons why I like it so much, is because it's a really ideal fit on the Vita. Honestly, I don't know why people, if they have a Vita, why they'd play it on the PS4, because the Vita version is really friggin' good. It's super smooth. It cross saves. It does all that stuff, and you get it for one price. I don't know. I really. This is probably one of the best cross save games, regardless of the problems it has with files sometimes. I don't know if you found that, but I'll play on my Vita and then it will ask me stuff and it won't sync properly. And
I've only put it on the Vita a couple times. It's one of those games that reminds me it's such a great system.
Even if Sony neglects it, but
yeah. Even if it just became the cross-buy machine, it's still a really great machine.
Yeah.
But so I mean, I don't know. Overall, I think I'm warming up to it. It's definitely addicting. I don't know why I'm playing it half the time that I am, but I enjoy it, and it seems like you're really digging it.
Yes, I highly recommend it. And we'll have a review up very soon, so keep an eye out for that. But if you're listening to me glow about it, you should probably just buy it, like I've hinted at. So, but whatever. Anyways, that's gonna wrap things up for us here. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll have a new episode soon. We're playing the format a bit, so maybe it'll be a little different next time. Anyways, catch you guys later.